Hi everyone, so today I want to show you how to make a pop and flip card. Now I can't remember who I saw this off, but I know there's been quite a lot of people. Oh, Dawn Griffiths and Stamp Your Art Out on Instagram and YouTube were the first people who I saw doing it. I know that other people who've done it, I don't know who obviously did it first, but that's who I saw, that's who I got the idea from. And so yeah, pop and flip card. So you start off with your little circle, and then when you open it up, it kind of pops and flips up, and you've got this little box at the back there, and it's just rather nice. And you can obviously do it as a side opening card if you want to as well, but I prefer the top fold opening. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, so for this card you're going to need a 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 card blank, and then you'll need a piece of pattern paper which is 5 1/2 by 5 1/2 for the front. Another piece of pattern paper that's 5 1/2 by 5 1/2 for the inside, but that needs to be plainer because you're going to be writing on that, because that's for where you write your message. So I'm going to put that to one side for now. I'm going to take the piece that goes on the front and just lay it on the front, and we're just going to washi tape it into position, because in a minute we're going to run it through the die cutting machine. So we need to just make sure it's in position, and you want to make sure that whatever washi tape you use, it's stuff that doesn't really stick well. Do you know what I mean? That's not going to tear your paper, and I'm hoping this won't, but you never know. Right, and then you need 2 nesting circle dies. The first one is approximately 3 3/8 wide, and then the second one is basically the next one in, which is about 3 inches. Okay, so what you want to do is take your ruler, and you're going to measure down from the top fold, because this one's going to be a top folding one. If you were doing it as a side folding, then obviously you do it from your side fold, and you're going to measure in from the top, and you're going to measure down 3/4 of an inch and make a little mark. Okay, and then what you want to do is you then want to lay your large die on so that it's about where that 3/4 of an inch is. So you want it to be about 3/4 of an inch. The top of it is 3/4 of an inch from that fold, and then what we're going to do is just going to washi tape that into position like that, and then we're going to run this through, making sure that our card is open. So I'm going to open up the card now like that. And then we're going to run the whole thing through. Okay, so we've die cut through the both of the layers. Just going to peel very carefully the washi tape off. So that's the die out of the way. Now these 2 circles that you've got here, you want to keep the white one. Okay, the pattern one you can use again on another project, but the white one you're going to need for this card. Then we're going to peel this washi tape off very carefully. Okay. Okay, so now we can go ahead and stick this. We can go ahead and stick this pattern layer that we just cut. We can go ahead and stick that down. The reason we didn't stick it down was because you want the white circle. Okay, you don't want the pattern as well. So the pattern obviously you can use for something else, but it just means then you haven't got to worry about it being stuck down. And also, if like me you use glue, you haven't got to worry about it splurging out everywhere. Okay, so once you've done that, you're going to turn it over. So obviously that's the inside, and on the inside you're just going to go ahead and stick down your pattern piece. Now I have quite a lot of questions about this glue, what glue I use, how I stick things down, etc. This is actually Yoo-Hoo all-purpose glue, and I find it really useful. Now I know Yoo-Hoo have brought out they've got other glues, but it's the one in the yellow. This one in the yellow tube that I use. It is a smelly glue, so it's not water-based, and it will melt things like acetate, polystyrene. It'll take the surface off your mirror, it'll take the surface off your glitter, so just be a bit careful. And the other things as well that I hear from people is that they have trouble with glues. They get in a bit of a mess. But when I use that glue, as you've probably seen, I literally turn it upside down and I let gravity do its thing. I might give it a tiny little bit of a squeeze, a little bit of pressure, not much at all, just a tiny bit of pressure. So I hold it upside down, just let it mainly come out, and I just give at the end, just give a tiny bit of a squeeze just to help it, and then I just let it do its thing, because it's quite runny anyway, and you just don't want to get it everywhere. If you do get it on your hands, it's not a problem. You can just rub, and it rolls up into a ball and rubs off. Same with if you get it on your project, again, you can just kind of rub it and it usually comes off. Yeah, so that's that. So I've had a few questions about that, so I just thought I'd answer that quickly. Right, so there we have the inside of the card, and there's the front. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in, obviously we need to keep hold of that for now. We're now going to bring in another piece of card. We've got a piece here, and this piece measures 2.5 inches by 4 inches. Okay, so we're going to need our scoreboard for this, and we also need, we've got another piece, a tab, which is 3/4 inch by 2 inch. So again, we're going to score both of these things. So I'm just going to go and get my scoreboard. Okay, so you need to take your 4 inch by, a 2.5 by 4 inch piece, put it on so you've got it on the 4 inch side, and you're going to score it at 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inch. 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inch. Okay, so basically every inch. Okay, and then you're also going to take your little tab, which was 3/4 inch wide, and you're going to score that in half. So you're going to score it at 1 inch just down the middle. Okay, and then that's all you need for your scoring. So the first piece that we scored, which is the wider piece, what you're going to do, the 2.5 by 4 inches. What you're going to do is on one side, so on this side here, you're just going to put red tape along the edge, down here and along there, and in like a U shape, okay? Now I wouldn't go too thick with your tape for this, okay? So I'm going to be using this tape, which is about 1/4 inch wide, something like that. So you don't want to go too wide with it. So you're just going to go down the side like that. And you're going to form a U shape. Okay, like that. On the other side, you're just going to literally cover the whole thing in red tape. So again, for this, I'm using a slightly thicker tape. Obviously, you could use the same again. You just have to put more of it on. I'm going to use this 1/2 inch red tape. Okay, so you should end up with that. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to fold and burnish along our score lines. Okay, so now we're going to bring our card blank back in again. Now I'm going to just turn it sideways because I find it a bit easier to do it this way around, even though it's top folding card. We're going to take the piece that we've just done, and we're going to peel off the U-shape piece of backing. So this bit here, we're going to peel off the U shape. And then we're going to take our piece of card and we're going to put it right up into that crease there. But we're going to make sure that it's central. So I'm just going to turn it around, actually this way around, just make sure it's central. So it's going to be about there, I think. Okay, so when you're happy that you've got it right in that crease and it's central left and right, you're then going to shut the card on it, and you'll see why you needed a U-shaped piece. So obviously if you'd filled the whole lot in, that would be sticky as well, and you don't want that to be sticky. So you've only done it round that edge there. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to fold it in half, we're going to take this off, and we're going to shut the card again on it. And then we're going to shut the card on there like that, turn the whole thing over, and as if by magic you have a little box, which is perfect because that's what you need for your mechanism. Okay, so that's what we've made there. So now you're going to take your tab and we're going to put red tape on either side of that fold line. Okay, so you end up with that. So then we're going to fold the whole thing in half and we're going to take the tape, the backing off one side, and then we're just going to turn it over and make sure that the crease is folded down. Okay, so this is my creased edge here. So I'm going to line that creased edge up with here, and I'm just going to make sure that's central left and right, and then I'm going to stick that onto the top of my box like that. So you have this weird, it looks kind of a bit weird, little box in the top there, and it's got the little tab stuck on it. Okay, so that's that there. So then what we're going to do is take the circle that we cut out originally, and we're going to take the backing off that, and then that is literally going to stick over the top like that. Now what you can do if you want, before you go ahead and stick it down, is you can go ahead and put your greeting or whatever it is you're going to use. So that's why you've got the 3-inch circle, so you can cut out a piece of pattern paper or whatever it is you're going to use, but that would fit perfectly inside. I actually have a topper which is pretty much the right size. It's a little bit small, but it's not too bad because I can put gems around the outside, something like that. So that's going to go in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down first before we go ahead and stick that there, just to make sure that we don't end up with any bulky bits. Okay, so there's my topper bit stuck down. So now I'm going to do what I said before, peel the backing off these hinges, and then we're going to stick this in, making sure the butterfly is nice and straight like that. And then I've just made sure, if we just saw that, I've just pushed the bottom section through the hole just to make sure it's definitely in, because then when you open it up, obviously that pops and flips. Okay, so from the side you can see it kind of pops open. Okay, so that's basically your pop and flip card, and then all you got to do is just decorate it. I'll probably add a few more gems on it, and you're done. And obviously if you wanted to, you could put a sentiment in here. I might actually stamp a happy birthday here or something on here, so when you open it you see that greeting. So you don't see it straight away, you see it when you open it. But that's your card, and obviously you can do it this way around as well if you want to. If you do it this way round, then just be mindful of the fact that this circle is on the left. You've got a bigger gap here. You'd have to change your box size. You'd have to change the size of this box if you wanted this to be in the middle. Okay. Yeah, that would probably be the best thing to do. I mean, you could move it over. I just think it might be a bit problematic. So that's why I do it as a top fold, because it's just a little bit easier really. Okay, so I just finished it off with a few gems around the outside there, and then when you open it up, I just stamp a little greeting just underneath. I probably could have done it a tiny bit lower, but yes, that's about. So obviously when you open it up, you only see it when you actually fully open up the card. So yeah, so that's the card. So hopefully you'll have a go. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and we will see you next time.